I want to illustrate a couple different things in this video, so stick with me. It's going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to be a good one. We are going to illustrate how to combine against remnants that are planned on specific pieces that are already on the cut list. So we're going to do this with linear products, angle beams, whatever, but I'm going to illustrate it with angle in this video, and then we're going to illustrate it with plate as well. I also want to show how locking the cut list affects this. So I'm going to work with angle first. I'm just going to do, so I'm looking at, in a production control job, I'm looking at a specific sequence, and I'm going to look at 4x4 angle to begin with. So what we have is we've got 18 pieces, 6 inches that we're going to combine, get on a cut list, and then we'll see how that works with another release coming up after that. So I'm going to combine, go molten nest, and I'm going to get down to sequence 6 and 4x4 angle. And just to show, I am looking at inventory and ordering, but it's going to tell me to order here. So I've got a 40 footer with a planned drop of 31 foot. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to kick it straight to a PO just to get to the process rather than going through a rec. So right now that's on order. So I go ahead and stick that on a cut list. So I'm going to go cut list, and let's go sequence 6. Get our angle on there. That should be the only thing. I want to save this. I'm going to call this sequence 6 angle. I'm not going to worry about filling out machine and everything now, but I'm going to, for this purpose, I'm going to lock this cut list. Let me show you what happens here. So I've got that on a cut list. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go do 4x4 angle on sequence 7. We got a new release, we'll say. We're going to try to combine and see if it picks up that 31 foot that we were looking at a minute ago, 31 foot planned remnant. So I'm going to go sequence 7. We're going to do 4x4 angle again. Okay, notice I am looking at inventory both in stock and on order, and before it ever goes to looking at purchasing. So in a molten nest, you'll see this tell me to order. The reason is because I locked the cut list. When you lock the cut list, it says do not look at anything. Don't mess with this cut list. I don't want you to see that 31 foot remnant. You can't use it. So just to illustrate that, if I go back to the cut list and I open or go to properties on that and unlock it and save it, now I'm going to go back here. Let me do that combining of that angle again. And let's go 4x4 angle. Where are we at here? 4x4. And I only want to do from a one sequence. And let's molten nest that. And now you'll see that it picked up that 31 footer. That is a planned remnant. You can tell by the asterisk here that it's a planned remnant, not an actual remnant yet. So, and then it's telling me to order, it looks like just 1 foot. We'll get a 40 footer and 1 foot's going to be cut out of it. For now, I'm just going to save this one to do it off of the planned remnant. We'll save selected results. Now, one inventory item is on a cut list. Would you like to have the additional combined items included or excluded from being cut? If I hit included, it's going to go on that same cut list. If I hit excluded, then I have to cut that cut list. Then I get a 31 footer. Then I can save this onto a different cut list. For this purpose, I don't want to pull the piece up there, have the remnant come back down, pull it back up later. I'm going to go ahead and cut it all at once. I'm going to say include, and it's going to go onto that cut list for me. So I'm going to say okay, and then it just leaves these here. So I'm going to leave that. So for angle, beams, any linear product, it's going to look at a planned remnant and say, hey, you got a planned remnant here. Do you want to stick that on there? So now let's go talk about plate now. So I'm going to do 1/4 inch plate. you'll see in sequence 6, I've got 192 pieces, 2 inches by 2 inches. And then I've got on sequence 7, I've got 160 pieces, same size. So let me do the sequence 6. And so I don't need to filter for it there, but let me just go combine. I'm going to be nesting. We're going to go to plate. We're going to say sequence 6. And only the 1/4 inch for this purpose. Now I'm going to go optimizations. Once again, I'm looking at inventory as well. Cool. It combined all of that on a actually a 4 foot by 4 foot. Let me change that. Have this set up for estimating purposes. Delete that. Yep. Close that. Man, that's bad. 48. Let's do a 4 by 8 there. Till that's what we want to get. Combining run. Let's recombine that. Yep. Okay, so it's on a 4 foot by 8 foot. I do have a drop here, 83% drop. So if I look at my nest here, I've got a bunch of pieces on there, but I've got a big drop. So I'm going to save displayed results and close. Let me get that on a purchase order as well. Put it on that same purchase order. Cool. So that's combined. Now let's put that on a cut list as well. And really don't have to put it on a cut list for this purpose. I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. Say plate. And sequence 6 is okay. Make report, save cut list. We're going to say sequence 6. I'm not going to lock it for this purpose. So based off of the last video, off the last cut list that we did for angle, the angle it combined, you're going to see here that the plate is not going to do that. If I go combine and nest sequence 7, let me get sequence 7, and I want to do 1/4 inch plate. And I nest that, it's going to tell me to order material. So it is not seeing that planned remnant, and that is part of the program. Plate is not going to find that planned remnant. So the only way to really do that, if I'm wanting to do this for, say, ordering purposes, or even if you were going to cut it by nesting out of here, here's how you're going to have to do it. I'm going to take my 1/4 inch plate for sequence 7 here. I'm going to take that. I'm going to kick that over to a requisition. I'll just put it on a new one. Save that. Say OK. And let's import that. So just to go over there so we can see it. So now I've got my 1/4 inch plate from sequence 7 on a requisition. So if I go here to inventory now, and I go to, let's get for just this job, let's see, right there. And let's only look at the plate. Cool. There's my 4 foot by 8 foot in inventory. And I've got a remnant on there. So if I go up here and I go switch to manual combine mode, and that gives me these 2 buttons, and I go add item, it's going to find all that 1/4 inch for sequence 7 on that list. And so I'm going to go add. Now, once again, the inventory item is on a cut list. Would you like to have the additional? I'm going to go ahead and put it on there and run it at the same time. So I'm saying include. So now all of that is on there. So the only way to really get plate onto a planned remnant is to do your manual combining over here in inventory. But all linear products should find that planned remnant, and you can stick it on cut list or exclude it either way. Hope this helps. Let me know if you got any questions.